So today we're at the San Mateo International Motor Show. I'm out test riding. This is a Victory cross country. I've got Jet on the back with me. Not my usual style of bike. It's a little weird. None of the controls are where I expect them to be. But we're going to see how it is. So I'm having trouble with the shifter because it's a mile away. Like, I've got to kick my foot up. I have to feel for it. I'm just not finding it when I'm looking for it. It's definitely a little disconcerting. The front brake lever is definitely squishy too. I don't know if this bike needs the brakes bled or what, but I'm having to put quite a lot of travel on it to get some kind of braking from it. Presumably all things I could get used to. None of them are things I should have to get used to. The motor pulls hard. It doesn't rev real high, but it pulls pretty hard. It's got good torque. It's been good over bumps, good compliance. No problems there so far. Steering is lighter than I expected. I keep over inputting. Haven't managed to get out of fourth gear yet here. Could probably be in third just fine. TAC says it'll go to about 5,500 RPM. Doesn't really seem to be any reason to go that high. Lady to my right is not the most accomplished rider, despite her one-handed approach. She can't stay in her lane track on curves, that kind of thing, but you do what you gotta do, right? The ride's nice and smooth, the seat's ridiculously comfortable. There it is in sixth gear. It'll still pull in sixth, so that's alright. This windshield's definitely the wrong height for me. It's putting a lot of buffeting on my helmet, but they got a dozen different windshield heights, so that's no problem. It's a comfortable bike. It'd be great for taking across the country, that's for sure. And that's what it's called, cross country. This chick's just all over the place. It's cold out and she's not dressed well enough, so she's probably freezing. One of the other problems I keep having with the bike, every stop, I keep missing the footboards. They're not where I expect them to be, because I'm used to having my feet tucked behind me a bit. Really, that's all personal shit. I'm sure I could get used to it if I had the bike, you know, long term. Obviously, a chaperone ride like this isn't going to give me a real great idea of what the bike can do either. Smooth transmission, I like it. You know, it shifts well. From what I understand, the shifters are adjustable, and I think these are as far forward as they'll go, which is definitely not ideal. Not for me anyway, not for my reach. I'd probably move them back some, but the shift action is good. You know, I haven't had any false neutrals. It goes right into gear. Makes a little thunk when it goes into gear, so you definitely know it's there. Got a gear indicator on the dash, which is nice because I had completely forgotten what gear I was in. Turn signals are your conventional style, you know, all on the left side, not like my Harley, which again, just something to get used to. It pulls pretty good. Pulled away from the other bikes anyway. Lots of torque. It's a 106-inch motor. It's got a lot of torque. It is an overhead valve motor, so it does produce pretty good horsepower. I think they're like 98 or 100, somewhere around there. In this class, pretty much top of the range. They make more power and torque than the Harleys or the and they make more power than the Indians. Less torque than the Indians. The Indians are torque monsters. These ladies in front of me are nice and slow, so I won't get a chance to really scrape any shiny bits, unfortunately. These two. Yeah, I'm getting quite a lot of buffet off of this windshield. But again, they've got like a dozen of them. Chaperone's right behind me. He probably didn't like that. I find myself not really caring. The seating position's really comfortable on this bike. You know, it's definitely all day, every day comfortable. You could ride millions of miles on one of these without any back pain or leg pain or ass pain. So they definitely got that going for them. The bars are in a comfortable position. They're a comfortable shape. The grips seem to isolate vibration pretty well. So as a touring bike, it definitely would do the job. It's got good pickup. I'm not wishing I had more power at any point here. I'm wishing I had room to use it a little bit more, but the bike's doing its job. It's laying the horsepower to the wheel. Jet behind me hasn't been freaking out or scared. She's been sitting there enjoying the ride. So I assume that she's comfortable too. She did mention that the passenger foot pegs are kind of a pain in the ass, and I noticed it too. When she's got her feet on them, if she puts the notch of her foot on the peg, then the back of my legs and the front of her feet tend to hit each other on stops when I have to put my feet down. And then she can't move her feet any further back because then they hit the saddlebags. I think the solution there is just I need to learn to put my feet somewhere different riding a bike like this. It's just where I'm used to putting them currently. I know they make aftermarket, well, not aftermarket, but Victory makes passenger foot pegs for this as well that might be better for the passenger. This model comes with the pegs. The uprated model, the Cross Country Tourer, I think has the floorboards standard, and you can always get them as an option. The wind protection's been great around my torso. This bike doesn't have the lower fairings. The Cross Country Tourer has those. My legs are kind of freezing, but I'm not wearing my chaps either, and I always wear my chaps when I ride. So I imagine that would solve that problem as well. I'm sure I'm not getting any more wind than I would with my V-Rod. I don't know that I would want the touring model. It comes with the lowers, it comes with a much bigger windshield, it comes with a touring pack, top box. I ride solo almost all the time, so if I were looking at one of these, I don't know that I would go with the touring pack. This is probably the model I'd go for, and it saves you several $1,000s. But all in all, it's a nice bike. It's depends how you want to define the class, but it doesn't have a lot of competitors. The Harley Street Glide obviously is the direct competitor to this. That's what this bike's aimed at. The Indians, the Indian Chieftain would be the comparison for this one. That's the same, basically the same company. And then you got some metric bikes, like you got the Vaquero from, I think that one's a Vulcan Vaquero, I think that's a Kawasaki. Star's got some. Moto Guzzi's got a touring bike. But for an American V-twin tourer, it's pretty much this or the Harley or the Indian. And I've ridden all those bikes. I might try to ride the Street Glide later. I haven't ridden one of the brand new ones. This is the one that impresses me the most mechanically anyway. Better frame, better suspension, way better motor. Wonder if it'll lane split. A little bit. Jet got a little antsy back there when I was splitting. She's never ridden with me before. She'll get over it. That's a Victory Vision. That's their full-on touring bike. That's what Jeanette usually rides on. They're really nice, but they're like 40 inches wide. Like, I could never lane split on one. The clutch on this bike is great. Like, really great. Really easy to sit here and hold it. I'm not even in neutral, I'm just holding it. With my banged up wrist, I usually can't do that, so that's really nice. My legs keep hitting Jeanette's feet. Slow speed handling is a little weird on it, mostly because it's just so heavy. With the extra weight and the passenger, I'm probably carrying 400 or 500 pounds. What's up? Jeanette talking to me, she's just telling me she's all good. The other problem with this bike is it's got stock pipes. I'm not setting off any car alarms. Boring. Stuck at a light. It's okay, I'll get to rip it. Want to see what she'll do?
Hold on if you want me.
The backrest will do you better, probably.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. Okay. This isn't a Vision, is it?
No.
What is this one?
Cross country. That's a Vision. Yeah, the bike to our right is a Vision.
Okay, yeah, with that couple cents thing, I guess. This one doesn't have new tires, does it?
Nah, they're good. What's that? Go for it.
Thanks for the ride, man.